Root of resilience. Friends, today I would like to share with you a story. And this story is where you will learn the root of resilience lies in our thinking style. And let me explain to you this via the story. So, many years ago, when I was almost 7 years into my work experience, a time came where or perhaps I was not performing as per my organization. And I was one of those people who were given a notice to leave. We call it pink slips in the project management parlance. And earlier I was on bench, and later on I was asked to leave. But our project lead was a bit more a person of empathy and a very kind human being who lacked a lot of control on the project work, however, was since a very senior and a kind person, 2-month notice period. So while serving this notice period, I was also looking out for a job. And in doing so, I was to be present in the office. And every day when I would be in the office, I made sure that I would leave the office through a back door. Now, if you had met me at that point in time, I was a normal employee. I appear to be so. And I would work the working hours. And by the time it's time to leave, my behavior has changed from a people's person to someone who's a little distant, cold, and I would always take the back door entry where my lot connected to the office, and I'll make sure that I would also not use the main front door elevator. What if I bump into my colleagues who might get to know that I have been given that pink slip and that I only have 2-month notice period? So this was the constant inner chatter I carried at that point in time. And in doing so, I was more bothered about what will people say? What will they say if they meet me? And what will I tell them why I was being given a pink slip? And with this kind of a proxy war that was going on inside my head with my so-called colleagues, who, by the way, half of them may not about my uh, condition of employment, yet I was into my own proxy world where I was trying to protect myself. And in doing so, my behavior underwent a drastic change. So I would be using this. I exhibited this behavior for almost 2 months till the end of my notice period. And all of this and much more was about me trying to avoid that question that I assumed my colleague would ask me, which was about the pink slip given, this 2-month notice period given. But at the more deeper, if you had probed me, lied the root of resilience, which was my thinking style. So the root of your resiliency skill is actually built, is rooted in your thinking style. My thinking style at that point in time was that of a person who was constantly ashamed of her own loss of job. I was so much so that I would do anything in my capacity to avoid a question coming in from a colleague or from a team member. And I would just want to put up a mask to show things are as is. Now, in doing this, I was constantly feeding my mind because my thinking style was that I should be ashamed of something. Even though I had not committed a sin by being given a pink slip, or a notice period, however, I thought so that only the worst performers are given that. And this event had a profound effect on my own resiliency skills, which in turn made me distant and cold because my thinking style was more of that where shame was my dominant emotion and I would blame myself for all the wrong that was unfolding. So, friends, I would just like to pause here and ask you if you ever find yourself in a difficult situation and instead of really looking at the facts or the reality as is, if your thinking style is just like the way it was almost 20 years ago, where you would blame yourself, then that will impact your self worth. You live in deep shame, and then you feel it's all because of me. And then you do everything in your power not to build your resilience, but to cover it up, hide yourself, and protect yourself instead of working on your resiliency skills. You will find that you are really derailing yourself, your career, and your personal growth. So, so if you are into such situations, I would just urge you to stop that immediately. And there are many resources I have available on my website, which I would want you to use it and can help you really think through your thinking style. What's really is holding you back? Using those resources, there are almost 18 plus landing pages on my resource section. There are tools which you can use and which will help you explore your own thinking style. And through that, you can understand how you're impacting your resilience system and what you shouldn't do to further, you know, kind of further hone it, no, sorry, not hone it up, further impact it. Rather, work on skills that will empower you, help you tap into your inner power, and not make those decisions or behave in ways that are detrimental both to your mental health and also to your physical health. So that's all for today. I hope to see you again soon with another story. And I will be leaving the link to this page, which you can find in the description box of this podcast. Check that out and keep building your resilience one day at a time.